Welcome back to the Masks of Nyarlathotep. We're down to 50% of our original investigators, but the last two are determined to soldier on manfully.
Adam, on roll 20, your very last roll as Stanton is an 8. Can you just tell me what that was, just so I can fix it in my mind for posterity?
No.
No, okay.
That's what that. I think you'll find that's what the hunting horror did.
Yeah, 8.
8.
Terrible. And on that super high note, we will move into this evening's activities. Is everybody ready to start?
Yeah.
The dim of a single overhead bulb flickers, casting long shadows across the corrugated walls. The camera lingers on the interior, oil-stained concrete, stacked crates, and a lingering haze of cigarette smoke curling in the still air. A canvas-draped shape dominates the centre of the space. Beneath it, the outline of a dirty blue Vauxhall. The camera pushes in, hovering over the barely perceptible bulge of its cargo. Ancient tomes, scrolls bound with silk, unnerving trinkets, and other alien artefacts of unknown origin. A corner of the sheet lifts slightly, revealing the gleam of 2 shotgun barrels. The name Holland and Holland still stubbornly legible on their scratched stock plates. A distant drip of water echoes somewhere outside. The camera glides towards the ceiling, past the rusted beams, and the bare light bulb, moving through the rafters until it finds a crack in the roof, and pushes through. The streets unfurl beneath, damp with recent rain. Gas lamps flicker, their light swallowed by the ever-present fog curling through the London alleyways. Horse-drawn carts trundle past, their drivers hunched against the cold. The occasional automobile rumbles through, its tyres hissing over slick cobblestones. A group of men in flat caps loiter outside a pub, their conversation low and murmured, eyes sharp beneath the brims. Across the street, a policeman in a long coat stands beneath a lamp, lighting a cigarette, casting occasional glances into the darkness. The city breathes, whispers of deals made in shadowed corners, of things best left undiscovered. And somewhere behind the closed doors of this nondescript lockup, in the East End, an unnatural presence lingers, bound in parchment and ink. The rooftops of East London give way to the broader, wealthier avenues beyond. The fog rolls back as we move west, revealing wider streets, grander buildings, and the flicker of electric lights replacing the flickering glow of gas lamps. The facade of the Savoy gleams under the golden glow of street lamps. The awning of the grand entrance stretches out over a line of waiting cars, their chrome accents reflecting the warm light. A doorman in crisp livery tips his hat as a well-dressed couple step from a Rolls-Royce, their laughter blending with the distant hum of the Thames. Inside the American bar, the low murmur of conversation and the clink of glasses create an atmosphere of effortless sophistication. The bar glows, its polished counter reflecting the warm, golden light from above. Barmen in white jackets mix drinks with practiced ease, their movements swift and elegant. Seated near the bar, Blake lifts his pisco sour and takes a sip, watching his friend with growing concern. The tartness of the lime and the smooth warmth of the brandy barely registering. His hand is steady, but the weight of exhaustion sits heavily on his shoulders. Across the table, Jacob sits hunched over his own drink, fingers gripping the glass too tightly, his knuckles white against the dim glow of the bar's candlelight. Jacob looks ravaged, his eyes are sunken and ringed with shadows, flickering somewhere between grief and madness. His suit, once sharp and pressed, is rumpled, his tie askew, like he had dressed without thinking or caring. He hadn't spoken for some time, hadn't even touched his drink. He only stared into it, as if he might find answers in the pale froth, as if the swirling patterns atop the cocktail might whisper something to make sense of it all. Blake set his glass down gently, watching his friend with growing concern. To you.
What time is it?
About 8:30 in the...
Jacob, do you think you're in a fit state to do anything over the next few days? I mean, there isn't anything that's so pressing that we can't take some time to recover and maybe come to terms with what's happened over the past couple of days.
You may be right, Douglas. My mind's elsewhere. I think I might take my leave and go to bed. That's all right.
Yeah.
Perhaps see how things look in the morning.
You remind me, are we sharing a suite now, or we have set? Yeah, we do. Okay.
Yeah, you got a downstairs suite in the Savoy.
Yeah, let's try and sleep on it. See how we feel in the morning. Nothing else to be done tonight. Let's take an early night.
Okay. So you head to your rooms and hit the hay. You gonna do anything before you sleep?
No, other than I'm going to make sure I'm going to leave my door open to my bedroom, but I'm going to make sure that the door to our suite has got a chair wedged underneath the handle.
Okay.
Well, I'm not assuming that's going to stop anybody, but it might slow them down slightly. Did you say we're on the ground floor?
Yeah.
What's the security like on the windows?
Yeah, they're all shuttered and bolted.
Okay, excellent.
You're looking at the security. I mean, obviously, it's the hotel itself is used to having quite high profile guests, so
Yeah.
security is good outside and in. So
Yeah, I figured it probably would be. It's one of the reasons why we're here.
Mm.
All right. In which case, I shall try and get a decent night's sleep. Obviously, I will be sleeping with my pistol under my pillow.
I'm going to go straight to bed.
Okay, Blake, you're not sure how long you've been asleep. You suddenly start awake. It's pitch black, so you can hear something has woken you up. You hear what sounds like shouting, and you realise that it's actually Jacob's voice. You glance at your watch, and it's like 1:45. You can do.
I will go and
Seems
see
quite
Sam.
distressed.
Yeah, he's probably having a turn. I will take my pistol, but carry it. It's not. I'm going to go and shoot him. I will go through and check to see how he is. If he is asleep and talking in his sleep, I'll try to gently wake him.
Yeah, he's okay. You go to his room. The door to his room is slightly ajar, and yet you can hear him. You realise as you approach the door, he's obviously having some sort of nightmare. He's kind of rambling on and then shouting out.
Anything in particular, or is it just incomprehensible?
Well, a lot of it's incomprehensible. There's the old kind of word that you can make out like run, Stanton, and then don't look at it. And then it kind of goes quiet again. You open the door and you see him. He's still asleep. Or he appears to be still asleep. His body's kind of completely swathed in sweat. His pajamas are wringing wet. He's got his legs drawn up under his chin in the bed, lying on the side, and just like rolling around.
Actually, I'll just leave him. His subconscious may be working through the trauma. Needs to get some kind of rest. Waking him up's not going to serve any great purpose. I'll leave the door open and I'll go back to my own bed. I'll listen out for him, but I'll try to go back to sleep.
Okay.
He hasn't got anything near him that he could do himself an injury with.
No, not that I mean, his clothes are kind of quite chaotically discarded around his room, like as if he just kind of just took his clothes off and as he was going towards his bed, threw them down. But
Okay.
it's quite unusual for him.
Yeah. Can I see his pistol anywhere?
Yeah, it's just hanging on the chair where he just chucked his clothes.
Okay. I'm going to take that and put it in my room. I don't want him deciding that he needs to attack anybody. Saw what happened to that policeman back in New York.
Okay, so you're just going to go back and try and go back to sleep?
Yeah. We don't have anything arcane with us. Everything's pretty much in the car at the moment.
Everything is in the car, yeah.
Yeah.
I think everything, when you say pretty much, it is literally everything in the car, was my understanding.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Apart from your own pistols.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so you obviously it's been a very exhausting mentally and physically day for you. You've had broken sleep because of waking up in the night. Now you kind of drift off. You have pretty unsettled dreams yourself until, again, you're suddenly awoken with a start. You hear, and it sounds like somebody's knocking on the door.
Okay,
You glance. You realise it's light in your room. You can hear the hubbub of London outside.
So what's the time then?
You glance at your watch. And you realise it's 9 o'clock.
Okay. I'll go to the door. I won't answer it. I'll stand to one side of the door. So who's there?
Mr. Blake. It's the porter. I've been sent by the concierge. There's a tailor from Jeeves and Hawkes who's arrived for you, and he's in the reception.
Oh, excellent. Thank you. Could you ask him to wait for 10 minutes and then come up?
Very good, sir. You hear the steps receding away from you.
I'll go and wake Jacob.
Okay, Jacob, he's still fast asleep, but and again, obviously, he's still pretty sweat drenched. Jacob, you wake up with your friend looking down at you with a concerned look upon his face.
Jacob,
Morning already.
yeah, I'm afraid so. I'm sorry to wake you, but the tailor is here. We were going to get measured up for replacement clothes. So if you're feeling up, I can just get myself measured up, but I thought perhaps you might want replacement attire as well.
I appreciate the offer, Douglas. I think I'll stay here. I feel like I've barely slept. Every time I closed my eyes, I had visions of that horror and Stanton. And every time I slept, I dreamt that it was chasing me down, and I didn't feel
No,
it was
of course.
restful at all.
No, I did hear you during the night, but I decided not to wake you. I thought some sleep, even if it was disturbed, would be better than no sleep at all. I have your pistol, by the way. I thought I'd remove it in case there were issues during the night, but I'll go and call you now.
Thank you. I'd feel safer with it.
I'll go and get his pistol, give it to him, shut the door on the way out, and wait for the tailor, and I'll just get myself measured for a new suit, 3-piece suit, and
Okay.
shirts, etc.
Okay, so you wait for a few more minutes. The tailor arrives, and then does the measurements, takes your instruction. So what you're doing is it just like an evening wear you're trying to get, or day wear, or
No, it's day wear. So because everything was wrecked from the fire and blood and God knows what else was covered in. I didn't really have decent clothes anymore, so it was just replacement, but something of quality.
Of course, sir. Quality is our middle name. The hotel manager mentioned that there was another gentleman who needed measuring up to. There was two of you.
Yes. I'm afraid he has taken to his bed. He's not feeling well. So perhaps if you could return another time when he's feeling improved, then you could measure him. Well, don't worry, she'll ask the hotel to contact you once he's feeling recovered.
Very good, sir. How soon would you need the
As
suit?
soon as you could. I will be here for the next few days, but as soon as it's ready, would be very much appreciated.
We'll make sure it's put to the front of the queue, sir. Is there anything else?
No, that's it. Thank you very much. I shall wait to hear from you.
Okay, he goes.
I will order breakfast for myself and for Jacob for room service.
Okay.
Full English.
Yeah. Okay, you order room service. About half an hour, 20 minutes, half an hour later, the porter arrives with two full English breakfasts for two on a lovely silver tray and places it on the table. Would sir require anything else?
No, that's it. Thank you. I'll call down if I need anything else.
Smiles, kind of stands there looking at you.
Shall tip him and let him depart.
Okay. He smiles and leaves.
Never get used to that. I'll go and wake Jacob. Jacob, breakfast. I think you need to eat, get some energy in you.
Don't really feel hungry, Douglas, but thank you. I'll come out and pick at a few things.
Okay, yeah, there's a full English breakfast on the table, so you both kind of sit down at the table. You can hear the daily goings on within the hotel, people rising and going down for breakfast. There's sound of traffic and noise outside on the street. Everything seems to be as normal, which is quite jarring considering everything that you've experienced. London carries on oblivious.
So what to do then, Jacob, if you're not even feeling fit to take on breakfast? I'm not sure how we're going to manage saving the world.
We need to stop Gavigan.
This much we know, but how? I mean, we know that there is a ceremony coming up, which cannot be good, so we would want some way to stop that. But ideally, I'd like to stop that before it happens rather than when it happens, because as we said before, there will be... Oh, phone. I'll go and answer that.
Hello, Mr. Blake?
Speaking.
I have a reception here. I have a Mr. Briggs down here for you.
Ah, excellent. Would you send him up, please?
Certainly, sir.
Mr. Briggs coming up.
Can we trust him, Douglas?
We can trust him as much as we can trust anybody. I don't think he knows the exact nature of what's been going on. So I would be wary of talking about things like that. But he is best way of putting it, Yeah, I would include him as a friend on the basis of who he is friends with. So yes,
Yeah,
we can trust him.
As you say that, you hear a sharp rap on the door.
Go and open it.
You see the familiar figure of Mr. Briggs standing.
Mr. Blake,
Morning.
how are you this fine morning, sir?
I am well, thank you. Much improved after a good night's sleep. Unfortunately, Mr. Lockhart is not feeling so grand. Let's not talk at the door. Would you come in?
No, thank you, most kindly.
Have you had breakfast?
I have, thank you very much. I had a little bite to eat before I came out. Just thought I'd come down, say hello.
Good. Well, it's good to see you. Nice to see a happy, smiling face for once. Mr. Lockhart isn't eating his breakfast, so if you do fancy anything on the plate, feel free.
Yeah. Very kind. I'll not stand on ceremony though, sir. I'll be honest with you. I had the two of you down as right mugs. Chancers, wannabe gangsters, stuck in the fields, covered in blood. Didn't know how to get out of it. But Mr. Finch has set me straight on a few things. Told me a few things about you. You used to be a copper, didn't you, Mr. Blake?
I did, yes.
Yeah. He didn't tell me exactly what you're into now, but you did tell me that you're on the side of the angels, and I should stick with you, and I should look after you. So that's why I'm here, Mr. Blake. My name's Albert. You can call me Bert. I'm here to look after you.
Excellent, but thank you. And when you speak to him next, thank Mr. Finch for lending you to us. It is very much appreciated. How much did he tell you about what we were working on?
Well, that's a bit delicate, because Mr. Finch hasn't been the same of late.
Really?
I found this tome a few years back now, and he's become obsessed with it. This big old book we found in this Mayfair apartment that we were going to do over, and he's got just going into it. And he wouldn't tell me what's what. All he would tell me is that you knew about that sort of thing that was in this book. So you were an expert on that sort of thing, and you were friends because of it. And that whilst you might be a bit of a naughty lad now, not so much of a copper anymore, you are on the side of the angels, and I can trust you.
Well, that's good that he's still investigating such things, and it's good that he shared that with you. Well, much as Mr. Finch and myself are on other sides of the law, or were, there are some things that transcend the niceties of civilized society. So we find ourselves strangely on the same side on this occasion.
I don't think it's that strange at all, sir, because I know we're all trying to make ends meet, but Mr. Finch is a good lad. He really is. Patriotic, good to his art, looks after his own. If you're good with him, you're good with me.
That's good to know. I'll look at Jacob. Hope that answers your question, Jacob.
I think it does. It's nice to have you on board, Bert.
Yeah, very much, Jacob.
Right, well, but take a seat. We have things to discuss.
Right, what's first?
So, the cause of our issues up in Derby is a gentleman by the name of Gavigan.
Gavigan, right.
He has been involved in some nefarious dealings, shall we say, which have spread beyond London up to Derby. When we were investigating up there, one of our friends, well, two of our friends, as it happens, in different ways, were killed investigating Gavigan's operations. Gavigan is now after us, so we want to stop what he's up to, and he wants to stop us. We're just discussing ways in which we might go about stopping his activities.
So what sort of activities are we talking about?
We've been told that in a few days he's going to conduct some kind of ritual at his house in Essex.
Ritual, you say?
So the kind of things that Mr. Finch has been reading about in that book, Gavigan believes that those things are real. So regardless of whether they are or not, he believes they are. And we've seen some horrendous things that the believers have done.
Yeah, belief can be a strong thing.
Indeed. So their faith is driving them, faith in something malign. and
Yeah.
Gavigan's willing to kill in order to further the cause of the cult that he's leading. So
These things are real, Bert. You need to steel yourself. There are horrible, horrible things out there in the fog.
Well, I landed in France when the first shot was fired, and I left when the last shot was fired. I'll be surprised if you can show me anything worse than I've seen already.
well, that's a bet I don't want to take up. But trust us when you see, we've seen some horrors we can't even describe. So be prepared to see things that don't make sense, that will test your beliefs, test what you believe is real, what reality actually is, the nature of reality. You seem like a strong man, Bert, so hopefully you can take it in your stride. It's a fight that we're in. Us, Mr. Finch, you think fighting the Germans was bad. This enemy transcends them. But we have to, one step at a time. We've got to stop Gavigan. Gavigan has this ceremony. We want to stop him, ideally, before that ceremony happens. We know where his house is, which we think is where the ceremony is going to take place. We also know where he works. We need to do it in a way that doesn't attract too much attention. And also, he's got men working for him, mainly Egyptians, so keep an eye out for them.
There's another knock on the door.
We can do a circus in there.
You're not wrong. Difficult keeping secrets. But people laying low, we have a lot of visitors. Oh, let's go to the door. Yes, who's there?
You open the door, do you? Or you just gonna?
No, I'm standing to the side of the door and asking who's there.
It's the porter, sir. We have somebody who wishes to speak to you. He's sent his card.
I'll open the door.
Okay, the porter hands you a card.
I look at the card. The card, 6 of clubs.
Okay, I've put the card onto the team
Investigator
Discord
notes.
channel.
Oh, hello, Mr. Charles Fitzwarren, MP, Member of Parliament for Amesbury, Liaison Officer for the Foreign Office. Interesting.
Are you able to accept guests, sir?
Absolutely, send him up.
Certainly, sir. He turns on his heels and he's off.
Well, this should prove interesting, but this is new to us. Jacob, does this mean anything to you?
Not a clue. What's an MC?
An MC?
Wait, did you say MC?
Military cross?
That's a military cross. That's a exemplary gallantry award, that is.
Well, that would suggest that this man is a honourable gentleman.
Well connected.
Oh, yes. Well, my question is, how did he find us so easily?
And what does he want?
Suspect we're about to find out.
Okay,
Right.
Yeah, carry on. Sorry, carry on.
No, so we're just going to wait. I'm going to stand on the far side of the room when he comes in.
Okay.
Not that I'm overly concerned, but perhaps we ought to take positions where if he does turn out to mean us harm, we have a bit of space that we can operate without bunching too closely.
I don't have a problem with that. Just, I'm sure you know this, but if he's earned that, he's an officer.
Yes, and I'm sure he means us no harm. However, I have encountered people in the past who were supposedly among the great and good when I was working a special branch, and they had other masters than our country or the Germans. So we have learned not to trust anybody until they've earned it and proved it.
Okay, as you're talking, you hear a quick, purposeful step approach your door, and a sharp rap follows.
Okay, I shall go to the door, stand to the side again. So who's there?
Fitzwarren, I believe you have my card. They're expecting me.
I'll open the door.
Okay, you see a dapper, well-dressed young man, maybe in his early 30s, with a brown woolen suit and waistcoat. Kind of a very confident demeanour, and he bears a stark resemblance to Stanton,
Anton, yeah.
minus the glasses.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Have the teeth marks.
Forgive the intrusion. I guess you must be Blake. And
I am.
you, Sir Lockhart.
It's me.
And Mr. Roy, you're not quite how you were described.
No, Mr. Roy isn't here currently.
Okay.
I take it that you are Stanton's brother, who spoke
Indeed, I
previously.
am. My younger brother, Stanton. May I come in?
You may. I'm interested. How did you find us? We've only recently changed hotels.
Yes, I believe you're at Brown's recently.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, the concierge there is a friend of mine, and I've been trying to track down my brother recently. And although concierges, as you well know, are known for their discretion, he did let me know where you were staying.
Excellent. Remind me not to recommend Browns to any of my friends. Please
Well,
come in.
Thank you. Yes, so I've been trying to track down Stanton. I heard he was in the country, but have not yet had a chance to meet up with him. Is he with you?
No, I'm afraid he's not. He's not here. Was there anything in particular that you wish to speak to him about?
Well, yes, there is. I'm concerned for his welfare. May I take a seat?
No, of course, please sit.
And some coffee?
I beg your pardon?
And may I have a cup of coffee? It's been a
I
long
don't.
morning.
If you don't mind waiting until we cool down, unless you wish to. Actually, I don't believe that Jacob has used his cup, so feel free to use his.
Yeah, sorry, I saw the clean cup and just presumed. Yeah, so I've been hoping to meet up with Stanton and find out what the devil he's been up to.
Yeah, when was the last time you spoke to him or heard from him?
I think it was a month ago or so. Received a telegram that he was in New York and thinking about coming back to London. I know that he'd spoken to our butler back at Warren Hall, but haven't seen him myself.
So, I mean, obviously, you have the advantage on us in that obviously Stanton had told you about us. Although he's obviously mentioned that he had a brother, he didn't speak about you very often. I'm wondering how much he told you about our relationship and what we were doing together.
Well, I know very little, but I have had a rather, shall we say, unnerving experience. And I'll pull a hip flask from my jacket, pour a few drams into the coffee. Well, that is the glorious thing about the Empire, gentlemen. It's always 5 o'clock somewhere. Before you tell me more, because I understand that you are being quite reticent, and quite rightly so, I've had a few thoughts and experiences recently. Basically, I knew that something was terribly wrong. For the past few weeks, I've been having awful nightmares. Our family home, Warren Hall, in flames. My parents bang on the windows, unable to get out. Staff and workers running around, screaming. Bodies on the ground. And above all of this, dark shape moving across the sky. It's like cloud or fog, consuming all and blocking out the light. I had to calm my nerves, having seen so many men reduced to jabbering babies during the war. I needed to steel myself and know for sure that it was just a dream. So I travelled back home last weekend to put my mind at ease. Everything was as it should be. Lord Fitzwarren, my mother, the staff, all happily moving through life as if nothing had changed. I suppose for them it hadn't. But on the Sunday night I had that nightmare again. I could not sleep. I wandered the house, finally entering the dining room with a glass of whiskey to settle my nerves. I looked up at that foolish stone above the fireplace, seven-pointed star that Stanton was so fascinated with. As I stared at the old carving, I looked at his eye. I could swear that I was looking back, and I had a sudden, searing pain in my head. My vision blurred, and suddenly a scene appeared in my head. A burning factory, moorland, gunshots, a lonely hilltop with a stand of tall pine, bird or a bat, large with a ferocious maw. Stanton in a field, looking up aghast and with terror in his eyes, and then a scream. Was the scream Stanton? Was it my brother? Do you know what has happened?
Oh, as you said, you had dreams, you had visions. What makes you think that what you experienced was anything more than that? You said that you saw your house on fire. That hasn't come to pass.
No, it hasn't. But that nightmare and that vision is not something that I have had before. It's not in my my nature to imagine things, but I know that something is terribly wrong. Can you tell me where Stanton is?
I'm afraid I don't know where Stanton is currently. And if your vision is correct and something has befallen Stanton, what would you do about it? I mean, surely this would be something for the police to investigate.
Yes, it would be under normal circumstances. but I don't believe that we're living in normal times.
So you wouldn't contact the police? Why not? What makes you think?
I believe that there are people in this city who have been acting outside of the law. From what I gather, you and Stanton were good friends and had known each other for many years. And those who may wish him harm themselves may be involved with the authority.
So you're suggesting that the authorities can't be trusted?
I should imagine most of them can, but some of them may not. That is why I'd like to find out as much information as possible, and then maybe only then take it to those who are control.
Douglas,
Deal with it another way.
Douglas, tell him he's entitled to know, and we need all the help we can get.
I'll indicate to Jacob, if you feel he can be trusted, then why not? As you say, we need help. Can you be trusted, Mr. Fitzwarren? We trusted Stanton, but we don't know you.
Quite so. And I understand your reticence. Obviously you have my word, but as you said, you do not know me, and trust does indeed have to be earned. With the things that have been happening in this city, have you come across any organisation that's been acting outside the law that may or may not cause you concern?
It was my job to investigate organisations that operated outside the law. London has a very well developed criminal underworld. As you're a politician, you would know that there are dealings that operate below and above the law, depending on the level of society in which you operate.
I believe at the moment there is more occurring than the usual affair of criminality, skullduggery, and the lust for power. I believe that there is a new organisation that has appeared that has different interests at heart.
What do you mean? Another empire? Germans? Austrians? The French?
Well, obviously the French. But no, not a nation as such, an organisation.
Do they have a name?
I believe they may have. Recently, a dear friend of mine was murdered. Have you heard of something called the Egyptian murders?
Yes, we have. It's impossible to avoid it. It's been in all the papers.
But not all the deaths have been reported, or not all the deaths that may be linked to the Egyptian murders, whatever, have been in the papers. And this good friend of mine, I believe, has been involved in this organisation. If I'm not wrong, it may be one that you've been investigating or had. Before he died, he gave me a letter, and I have it here, my person. So it happened recently, December the 31st, 1924, 22 Montague Place, Bloomsbury, London. My dear friend, if you're reading this, then the chances are that I'm a proper mess, old chap, and a really sticky wicket. It all started out as a bit of a lark, a new crowd, late nights in Soho, talk of ancient secrets, cocktails and laugh. And then I did something foolish. I fell in love. She is like any woman I have ever known, elegant, sharp as a knife, with a majestic beauty reminiscent of Cleopatra, beauty enough to make a man lose his senses. And I did. From the moment I saw her at the Blue Pyramid in Soho, I was lost and followed her willingly, blindly believing that she had chosen me. But for now, I fear that I was never more than a pawn in a game, and I do not understand. She is part of something ancient and terrible. I thought she was simply a woman caught between two worlds, Egyptian by birth, but moving among London's elite with the grace of a queen. I thought she was entrusting me with secrets, whispering of things long buried beneath us. But what she showed me, what she led me to, was no secret. It was a living horror. The Brotherhood of the Black Pharaoh is real. You may or may not have heard of them, but I can tell you, they are no charlatans, nor deluded mystics playing at power. They serve something, and I have seen it. Last week, she took me to a gathering in Essex, country estate, grand and silent beneath the moon. There, I saw men of high standing bow and scrape before an altar of black stone, and something older than England itself. A man was brought forward, trussed up like a hog. There was chanting, a knife, and then, God help, his blood ran freely over the cold stone. And the worst of it, something answered. I do not have the words for what I saw. Bent the firelight, stretched the shadows. It was there, but it had no voice, and yet it spoke. And it saw me. I ran. I don't know if she wanted me to see, or if she had miscalculated and let me too close. But I know this. They will not let me go. I have seen too much. I am being followed. There has been an Egyptian man outside my flat for nights, just standing. I feel eyes on me, and when I walk, they even listen on my telephone. The Brotherhood does not leave loose ends. Last night, Charles, I was walking home in a pea super when I swear the very fog itself reached out and began strangling me. She knows more than she will ever admit. But is she their queen, their pawn, or their prisoner? I no longer know. What I do know, old friend, is that I have met many remarkable people in my life, but Zara Shafiq is, without question, the most compelling and dangerous woman I have ever known. I know this all sounds utterly balmy, old fellow, but if anything happens to me, and I need you to take it, then I need you to take up the Blue Pyramid is their den. The true power lies elsewhere, and for the sake of all that is holy, they must be stopped. Pinky. There's a lot to take in, but when he called me, not long after New Year's Day, we arranged to meet. He did not show the meeting, so I went around to his flat. When I found him, his body was nothing but a shriveled husk, the sort that you would find where a fellow had died in the desert and been left there for days, starved, dried in the desert sun. He did mention on the phone something to alert me where to find his letter. Something now seems prophetic. These people worship the Black Pharaoh, but we delight in Isis. We were friends at Oxford, and the name for the Thames in Oxford. He had a photo frame. The letter was hidden behind that. I was about to call the police, but before I did so, I noticed a scarab beetle scuttling up the wall and out of the window. Scarab beetle in London. And with poor Pinky, I knew that this was no normal murder. And this is what has led in part to you. And having had that dream and that vision the other day, I know there are things in this world way beyond our comprehension.
Mr. Fitzwarren, you seem to be a man made of stern stuff, but you might want to take another slug of that whiskey. I'm sorry to say that Stanton's dead.
Mm.
The vision that you saw was on the moorland was more than a vision. It really happened. That was where Stanton met his end.
Thank you for telling me. Did he suffer? Was it quick?
I think it was.
And his body, where is it now?
Taken by the creature that killed him. There was no evidence. The only thing we found was this. I'll hand back the pendant. I managed to retrieve it from the field. I think it probably should belong to you now.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you for doing that. I appreciate it.
But everything Pinky said in his letter is true, and everything that you saw in your visions is true.
Mm.
Not sure whether to say it is one thing, to see it is another, but we have seen it. We cannot provide you with evidence, but the visions you've seen, the individuals involved, the organisation or the cult that he was referring to, it's all true. They've now killed 3 of our friends. You asked
the others
about Lex. He was killed recently as well.
Very sorry to hear it.
So we find ourselves at a point where we have 2 main courses of investigation. We know where the ceremony that Pinky was referring to was held, and another one is going to be held soon. We also know the location of the lady he was speaking about. We don't know whether she is part of the same cult, a part of a splinter group, a competing cult, or somebody that is trying to destroy the cult in the same way that we are. It sounds, from what Pinky's letter said, that she is not to be trusted, but we may be able to use her for information. What that information might be beyond what we already know, what would be useful, I don't know. But what's really worrying is that the way in which Pinky met his demise speaks to magic, and even more fantastical than the creatures we're referring to. They appear to have the ability to cast magic. I have suffered at their hands. Luckily it didn't take my life, but we have seen it take others. So firearms are not the solution that we would perhaps hope they might be in such an encounter with them. And the creature that took your brother, I shot it, and it shrugged it off as if the bullets wasn't there, not even an irritation.
It was brave news indeed. I thank you for being a friend to my brother. He trusted you and knew you for many years.
He saved our lives on many occasions in Peru, New York. It was
Peru. I'd forgotten that he went to Peru.
It was he was a good man. We trusted him. He trusted us. Unfortunately, there was nothing we could do to save him. We'll take that to our graves. There was nothing we could do to save him, and there was nothing we could do to save Lex. But we can stop those that were responsible for their deaths.
You may think me cold, but my experience has told me that we have very little time to grieve losses. I shall do that in my own way when I get a spare minute. But it does look as though I may be joining another war. But this time the enemy works in the shadows, and we know little of who they are, one name or two, but I do know that their power is far greater than the one that I faced in the Sinai and Palestine. Gentlemen, should you wish it, you have my sword and what influence I may be able to offer.
A welcome addition to the group, Mr. Fitzwarren, or Charles, if I may.
Of course, call me Charles, please.
And may I introduce you to Mr. Briggs here, who has also recently joined our band. Sorry, Bert, that was probably an awful lot for you to take in.
I step forward and offer my hands to Charles as well.
Shake it warmly, Mr. Briggs.
Pleased to meet you, Charles. Colour Sergeant Briggs. I noticed the MC on the card. What unit, sir?
The second light armored mobility battery. We assisted the light division, the light horse division in Egypt, Sinai. Foolish as
Egypt?
that means.
Pleased to meet you, sir. Colour Sergeant Briggs, 2nd Battalion, Royal Sussex.
Sussex, noble regiment.
Yes, sir.
See much of Europe, did you? Or just one trench to another?
Just France, sir. Just France.
Well, he made it back.
Got down at the bottom of Mons. Left there in the second battle of Arras.
Yeah.
There every day, sir. Every damn day.
Well, if I may be so bold, making it back alive is worth far more than that medal I received.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
So, where do we begin, gentlemen?
Well,
Charles, did Pinky have any connection with an Edward Gavigan of the Penhew Foundation?
Not that I know of, but I am aware of the fellow. He's a member of a club that I belong to, the Diamondback Club in Tottenham Court Road. I don't know him personally. I've seen him a few times, but he's rather well connected.
Well, we have good reason to believe he's well connected with the cult that Pinky referred to. In fact, I
These
strongly suspect he's
Blackberries.
behind the deaths of Stanton and Lex.
Really?
Really?
Perhaps we should pay him a visit at a quiet time, place of our choosing. Find out exactly what he does now.
To be stopped.
He's responsible and not this Shafiq.
that is an open question currently.
Are they working together?
That is the question.
Just as
Or in
Pinky,
competition.
Yeah, just as Pinky was unsure, I think we are too.
Although she has provided us with useful information, some of that information proved to be damaging to us and ultimately led to Stanton's death.
That's Trixie then. I can see why you're in two minds. Because she might have given you information to stitch you right up. Or she might have given you information in the hope that you'd whack Gavigan.
Exactly. And maybe the trap that Gavigan set was intended for her, and she sent us to trigger it.
Yeah.
So-
It's a Trixie one.
It is.
What trap exactly was this?
We had calls to gain access to Gavigan's safe. We were looking for information about his activities in this cult. Unfortunately, in the safe, we discovered a scroll of arcane nature, and Stanton opened it in the act of breaking the seal, drew the creature that killed him upon him, and that was why Stanton died. He triggered a magical trap, and if that trap may have been intended for us, it may have been intended for somebody else, or it may have been intended for nobody, and they didn't know what that was for. We just don't know. But
Yeah, it could have just been intended for, if you're in here and you shouldn't be, you're going to get it.
exactly,
And of course, Stanton couldn't resist.
absolutely. Although, to our shame, it was not without our encouragement. One thing we have discovered, and where Stanton was putting his life on the line for us was we need knowledge of what they're capable of. We need to understand the enemy to destroy the enemy, and reading these documents is the only way to gain that knowledge, but at the cost of our sense of reality. Stanton's mind was beginning to fracture by the time he died. As you can see by the state of Jacob, some of the things we have seen can break weaker minds. The fact that we're still here is more by luck than judgment.
That seems it's a lot more insidious than pure shell shock. Not that should be sniffed at. But yeah, always with his nose in the book. I told him that he needed to get out and into fresh air. And it seems as though his books and scrolls that did for him in the end. Ridiculous world that we live in.
Well, the unfortunate irony is that it was probably the open air. So I doubt if he'd have stayed in the library, then the creature wouldn't have been able to reach him again.
Yes.
That was our fault too. But we, as you say, we grieve in our own way and we must move forward. What concerns me is the Savoy was supposed to be a quiet bolt hole for Jacob and myself to recover and plan our next moves. No disrespect, gentlemen. It appears that our bolt hole is far from secret, for we have been here one night and we have 2 guests.
I do pride myself on my other fine things, but I totally get your point. Just, I don't want to seem like I was rude, but a lot of that went over my head, and I've been looking at the paper, and I found this little article. Derby factory fire under investigation. Suspicious blaze destroys large sections of Utoxeter Road-based farm. The devastating fire engulfed a significant portion of Henson manufacturing plant late on Sunday evening, reducing a substantial section of the factory to charred ruins. The fire is now subject to an intense police investigation, with the authorities confirming they are treating the incident as suspicious. The fire service called to scene in the early hours of Monday morning, but despite the efforts, large portions of one of the main factory buildings have been completely destroyed. The cause of the fire has not been reported. Investigators currently combing through the wreckage for clues. In a troubling development, Derby police have also confirmed 2 security guards employed at the factory are unaccounted for, and a Henson manufacturing truck is also missing. Further deepening the mystery surrounding the incident. Authorities have not disclosed whether these appearances are directly linked to the fire, but inquiries are ongoing. Local residents reported hearing sounds of discharging firearms at the site around midnight, followed by an orange glow as the fire took hold. Superintendent James Riley of Derby Constabulary issued a brief statement to the press saying, "At this stage, we're treating the fire as suspicious. We're actively pursuing all lines of inquiry, including the whereabouts of the missing security personnel and company vehicle." He declined to provide further details, citing the early stage of the investigation. Now I'm thinking, gents, given our first meeting, that has got something to do with you. Now, this next section caught my eye compared to what you've just been talking about. The owner of Henson Manufacturing, a London-based academic, has been asked for comment but has yet to respond. The factory is not a major employer in the area and is relatively small, raising further questions about the significance and purpose behind the incident.
Interesting. Well, that will, if you'll forgive the pun, put the heat on Gavigan, because you're correct in thinking that is the academic involved.
Am I correct in thinking that some of the mess I found you in is those security guards?
Indeed. So to give you things, we're on full disclosure, we went up there with Lex and Stanton to investigate what was going on in the factory. They appeared to be building a replica of some ancient machine. If ridiculously, if you're a reader of Jules Verne, it bore some resemblance to a rocket to the moon.
Blimey.
Indeed. But unfortunately, in the efforts to gain access, Lex was killed by the security guards, and we in turn dispatched the security guards. We burned down the factory in order to slow down the development of whatever it was they were constructing. we stole the plans and we stole the items, the original items and the replicas that they had built to date, which you are now in possession of.
Yeah, they are safe. I see.
And when we departed in order to dispose, unfortunately, both of Lex's body and the bodies of the security guards, that is when the creature arrived and plucked Stanton from the ground and made off with him into the night sky. And
I
that
see.
is where you join us.
That's right. And we got rid of the lorry together.
Indeed.
Well, firstly, sirs, I'm great sorry that your friend was one of those that I helped you with, as it were. But sorry for your losses.
Thank you.
But onwards.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we are now at a stage that the niceties of normal life, our ability to mourn, to give people decent burials, to respect the law in order to fight what's in the darkness, we no longer have that luxury. We are in this to the end, whatever means are necessary. And if we die, then others can take on the mantle and continue the fight until there is no fight left.
Bloody hell. I thought I was just up in a couple of tossers who were stuck in a bit of a fix.
Well, we're that too, but
fair enough.
We don't claim to be heroes. Unfortunately, we've been repeatedly in the wrong place at the wrong time. And when there's a challenge and you discover what you're up against and what the consequences of turning away from it are, we have no choice. Do we choose this fight? No. Do we want to continue this fight? No. Do we have a choice? No. If we don't stop them, nobody will. And having seen what they're capable of, I don't like to think what would happen to hundreds, thousands, millions of innocent people. The stakes are that high, gentlemen.
Well, I think joining a war sounds very apt to the situation we find ourselves in.
Let me ask you a question then, Charles. We're in a war. Would you be willing to kill to win the war?
Sometimes you do have to take actions that are maybe not as honourable as you'd like in order to protect those around you and for the greater good.
As you know, I was a policeman in a former life. It's my job to uphold the law. I stepped across that line once or twice. Now I'm so far past that line, I can't even see it. Now, any means are justified. I realised that at the moment that Lex had his head blown off, a man with a shotgun. The moment that Stanton was eaten alive by a winged creature from hell. Just so that you're both clear about what this might take. Because when we are in amongst it, there can't be any hesitation.
No, quite. And so we will not choose this fight, but someone has to fight it.
If we're truly on the side of the angels, Mr. Blake, that means everyone who stands against us is going straight to hell.
Well put, but I wouldn't call us angels, but there's certainly devils on the other side. Right, so what next? We could go and have a conversation with the lady we are not sure about, or the gentleman we are sure about. Or we could avoid both and we could visit his family home. With any luck, he will be... It's Monday today, is it?
Today's Tuesday.
It's Tuesday today. Lost a day. We could visit Gavigan's home and investigate that. He may be expecting us. They were certainly expecting us at the factory. I'm open to suggestions. Jacob, you were keen to go and have a chat. Does that still hold true? Would you say that's our priority?
I'd like to speak to Miss Safiq. We don't know whether to trust her or not, but I think the time has come where she needs to be sharing a bit more about what's going on if she's to earn our trust.
Well, given what we heard from the letter about Pinky, I would suggest that she cannot be trusted at all. But we perhaps need to know one way or another.
Suggest we approach it on the basis of we're not going to share anything with her. She needs to be sharing with us if she's to keep us interested.
Well, perhaps we go and pay her a visit then.
And then we have the ritual the day after tomorrow. Is it the 17th now?
Yeah, the ritual was Thursday. Well, according to that letter.
I think we need to disrupt that before it happens. I don't want to be there when it happens.
Is this the ritual that's out of town?
Yes.
Yes.
And if it follows the same pattern as Pinky described, somebody is going to die.
appreciate the idea of trying to disrupt it, but there was some benefit in doing it there. And if it's Essex, it'll be a bit quieter than the city.
No, absolutely.
Fewer coppers.
I mean, the obvious way to disrupt it is to destroy the items that they need in order to conduct their ritual. Indeed, do away with the individual who is conducting the ritual.
Do you know where the items are? Is that... Hang on. Is that why you dragged me to the lighthouse? Or is that something else?
That was something else.
Oh, crikey.
Right. So, you may think that we are fighting a cult who is active in London. Unfortunately, we believe there are other groups spread across the world that are endeavouring, coordinating, even to summon whatever creature it is that they worship. We first encountered them in New York. It's brought us to London. We believe that they were exporting items of religious significance to Egypt, Shanghai, and Australia.
Okay, so you've gone from major port to major port to major port. I think I see the pattern emerging.
So there you go. If we can disrupt what's happening in London, we will be travelling to Egypt to find out what was going on there, perhaps down to Nairobi, Kenya. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. We may not survive until Friday.
Well, yeah, let's think positive, eh?
Well, once we get to Egypt, I may know of some people there that could assist.
Excellent.
After I met some real pang of jealousy, so when I joined up, I always hoped to go to India or Egypt. I never really left the country until I went to France.
Well, join the army, travel the world.
I did travel the world, so I went to Salisbury.
Yes. The recruiting posters say one thing, and you always end up digging trenches one place or another.
Protecting the empire, gentlemen.
I can't complain. I had a good 10 years before the war started. Once the war started, went downhill a little bit. But
Well, we triumphed there. Let's hope we can stay on a roll.
I think we should. I think we should leave. I'm feeling a bit stir crazy in this hotel room. I don't know, Douglas. It's putting me in mind of that time when you remember you, me, Oswald. We holed up in that hotel in downtown Boston after robbing that mansion. We went stir crazy there. Do you remember?
I'll pretend I didn't hear that.
Right. What do you want to do then, Jacob?
What? Well, I want to go and see Zafik. I want some information from her, and then I want to go and confront Gavigan in his Essex lair.
Right. To Miss Shafleek's Empire Spices then.
Did she provide us with that note about?
I think so, yes.
We don't know for sure, but
I can't think who else it would have been. It would only have been her or the dancer. And the dancer, Alicia. But she was only either a confidant or pawn of Shafleek. So, well, when we go and visit her, do you want to take the lead?
yes.
Okay, so am I hearing that you're planning on leaving now then? Going out to Soho?
I think so,
Yes.
gentlemen.
Okay. All four of you going?
absolutely, wouldn't miss it.
Okay, and how are you getting there? You going taxi?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we do need a car for travelling around London, I do have one at home at the moment. It certainly may be a bit easier for us to get around when we do. Obviously, taxis are a form of very useful service, harder to trace.
Okay, you step outside of the foyer into the crowded street where taxi cabs are hurtling back and forth outside the Savoy. Also, horse-drawn carriages too. There's police. It's quite a busy area. But you hail a cab quickly and then head over to Soho. Are you just going to pull up outside, or what's the plan?
I think so. We might as well just go straight there, hadn't we?
Again, drop you off outside.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we should all go in.
Yes. No.
Wouldn't miss it.
I'll stride into the shop. Is there anyone serving?
Okay, you jump out of the taxi, pay the driver, it speeds off, and you see the shop sign showing open. And actually, as you arrive, you're getting out of the taxi. You see some customers coming out of the shop. It seems to be quite busy actually. You go into the shop, and you see there's about 6 or 7 customers. One of them, a couple are by the counter being served by a young, dark-haired lady who is not Shafiq. It is Yalisha, the dancer from the Blue Pyramid.
I'll walk up to her. Is she serving anyone at the moment?
Yeah, she's serving a couple at the moment. There's a couple of other people around looking at the various spices.
I'll interrupt rudely. Where is Miss Shafiq?
Sorry, sir. I'm just serving these customers, and I'll be with you. She smiles nervously, and then goes back to weighing the spices that she's got in front of her.
We'd like to see Miss Shafiq.
She's not here, sir, I'm afraid.
Well, where is she?
I do not. She kind of shoots her eyes at you, like conspiratorially. But I have a message for you.
Yes.
I'll just finish serving this. Sorry about that. I'll just finish serving these customers, and if you could just wait, sir, please.
Be quick.
Okay. She serves the customers, and you're just going to stand around in the shop.
I'm going to stand by the door.
Okay. The shop is very pungent, as it was previously. Very the air is heavy with spice, the smell of spices, and there are jars and packets of all sorts of every possible spice that you can see littering the shelves around the shop. Eventually, after about 5-6 minutes, the customers leave, and you're alone in the shop with Yalisha. She says she dashes up to the door and turns the sign around. Where have you been? I came to Brown's this morning, but not there.
I don't have much patience. I came to see Miss Shafiq. I want to speak to her.
She's not here. She's out. I don't know where. She left early. She asked me to look after the shop for today.
You said you had a message.
Yes. She kind of looks over her shoulder and says, Zara wanted to give you more information about the Brotherhood's next meeting on Thursday. It's on Thursday evening. It starts at 8 p.m. at Gavigan's estate, Mesa House, and Walton on the Naze in Essex. You know the place?
Never heard of it, but perhaps my colleagues may.
You're aware of it.
It is just over 2 hours on the train from Liverpool Street, I believe, or maybe a 3-hour drive via Chelmsford and Colchester. I'm sorry, but I'm not knowing much about places outside of London. She said there is a single bridge that leads across the island where the estate is, and this will undoubtedly be guarded. So a safer way may be hiring a tourist boat in the seaside town and getting it to drop you off on the island. Gavigan is going to be at the Brotherhood at the right, which takes place in a clearing in the woods north and east of the main house. About 30 people are due to attend, and there has been talk of an offering being made to the Black Pharaoh. She kind of leans in even closer now, and she says, Gavigan gets changed alone in the house about half an hour before the ritual starts. Zara said this might be the best time to confront him.
What does Zara want from us?
I'm sorry, I don't understand. She doesn't want anything, as far as what do you want from her?
Well, what little trust I had in her is rapidly evaporating. We've lost good friends following information that she provided.
Her face goes blank. I'm sorry, I only passed you on a message.
Well,
Who are these?
pass this on. We want more than she's providing us.
I'm sorry, I do not know any more than this. She asked me to come to your hotel with that message. She said you would be pleased to receive the information. I thought you were on our side.
And what side is that?
Who are these new gentlemen? Not seen these two before. And the others. Where is the large man?
I told you we've lost good friends following Ms. Zafik's information. You'll understand that it's created a certain lack of trust.
Takes a couple of steps back. She says, I'm sorry to hear that. As you know, I have lost someone close to me too. That is all the more reason why Brotherhood should suffer for it.
I want to speak to Miss Zafik.
I am sorry she is not here.
I understand why you have something against Gavigan. Why does she care so much? Has she lost somebody? What's her connection? What's her interest in what Gavigan is doing?
She is working for people who have lost those they loved.
So she works effectively as a private investigator for the other people like yourself who have had loved ones killed by Gavigan's activities.
She has taken me in and been good to me. She has provided me with money to buy clothes. She has helped me, but I do not believe she's doing all of that out of the kindness of her heart. She has other motives, of course.
You know what they would be?
She has told me she has friends who are rich, powerful, who want to know more about this group. I have not asked any questions beyond that, but I don't need to ask any more questions. Just like I trusted you when we spoke in the Blue Pyramid. I am desperate for help. She so far has been the only one, other than you, who have listened to me and offered any help.
Have you met any of the other loved ones, or has she not introduced you to any of them?
I have not met any others.
Was Miss Shafiq here this morning?
She left early this morning. Said she would be away all day.
Are you expecting her back tonight?
Yes.
Give you any indication of time?
She said she would be back out after the shop closed. She was intending to go to the Blue Pyramid tonight to see whether she could find out any more information.
That must be risky for her.
The whole thing is risky, of course. I don't really understand. Why are you like you are now?
Well, as my friend has said to you, our investigations, Shafiq's guidance, have not gone well for us. We have lost two good friends, and it is raw. We only lost them in the last couple of days. We want to make sure that Miss Shafiq is not the cause of our loss.
My heart is heavy for your loss, but any dealings with the Brotherhood of the Black Pharaoh can result in such things. The longer they go unchecked, the more these things will happen. I am telling you the truth. I do not know what else to say.
I do not doubt it. I do not wish to make your life more complicated and worrying than it already is. Our dealing is with Miss Shafiq. Perhaps, Jacob, we should return later when she's back.
Perhaps.
I can give her a message if you wish to. I can ask her to contact you as soon as she gets back. But she has said that you shouldn't really come here because the more the place is being watched, it's dangerous.
Who's doing the watching?
Them, of course. They're everywhere. They have eyes and ears everywhere.
Tell Mr. Feek that I'm losing patience being thrown tidbits from the shadows. If my friends and I are going to put our lives on the line, we need something more. We need to know what we're going into.
But I have told you everything she told me. That is everything she knows. Do you not listen? These things aren't put up on posters on the wall, you know.
No, it is useful information, and we thank you for passing it on.
Do you want me to ask her to contact you?
Yes.
Where?
Browns.
Yes, if you could leave a message with the concierge at Brown's, we will check with him.
You're not staying there anymore, but they
No.
wouldn't tell me where you'd moved to.
No, we are not, but we can collect a message from there.
Okay, I will tell her when she comes back. She seems quite crestfallen by the exchange. If that is all, I better reopen the shop. I can see there are customers waiting outside.
I'll leave.
Okay, back outside into the streets.
We should get into a taxi, gentlemen, is my suggestion at this very moment.
I would be inclined to agree.
Okay, you get into a taxi and off you speed from the
If you would like my professional opinion,
Always.
that young lady in there would like you to kill Mr. Gavigan. I think she would like you to kill Mr. Gavigan so that our boss can take over. This looks like a mobster move to me. All that about he gets changed half an hour before he'll be on his own. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. No, she's setting you up. Setting us up. Christ, I'm in it. I'm in it now.
Yep. And then if it goes wrong, we take the fall.
Well, I mean, quite obviously, she wants us to do away with Gavigan. The question is, what's her motive for that? Is her motive because she is seeking to destroy his activities as revenge for killing all those innocents? Or is she doing it because she wants to take over the operation? From what we've heard so far, it's because she's got the same motivation as we have.
I don't think there was a lot of consistency between being told that Safik has rich friends who want to know more about the group, and then in the next breath we're set up to dispose of Gavigan. Those two aims seem to be well, they don't sit together, do they?
They are at odds. So yeah, would you please find out all you can, and by the way, kill everybody while you're at it. So we've found lots of information about these people. Unfortunately, they're all now dead, so that information is useless.
I presume you're not having this conversation in the cab with the cab driver.
No.
Yeah.
Sorry. Well,
He's not going to make it out alive. Don't worry.
no.
No, we can have the conversation with the cab driver. I will have a word with the cab driver afterwards to make sure that it's all good.
Where are you heading, by the way?
Let's find a boozer.
Browns. Yeah. All right. I like the sound of that. Yeah.
A boozer? What? Back into central London, or?
No, any old boozer we can find.
Okay.
We're around Soho. There's going to be plenty around here.
Okay, you head into
Find
the nearest
quiet
boozer.
booth.
Get yourself
booth.
a nice drink.
Okay.
Well, gentlemen, it appears that maybe myself and Jacob may not be able to see the wood for the trees. You have a bit of distance on the situation. What are your thoughts?
Well, I think Bert here hit the nail on the head. Two people vying to run one organisation.
That doesn't
Yeah.
render her information useless, does it?
No, it
It
doesn't.
just means that we are her pawns for the moment.
Mm,
But if our objectives align, does that matter?
exactly. The enemy of my enemy and all that.
Well, what it would mean is once we've disrupted Gavigan's operation, we're going to have to disrupt Shafiq's replacement operation.
So,
You used the word disrupt when you meant to use the word destroy.
I'm sorry?
You used the word disrupt when you meant to use the word destroy.
Indeed. Yes. Disruption suggests that it's something that could be repaired or reactivated at a later date. This has to be
Done.
annihilation.
Yeah.
rip them out root and branch.
Well, are we going to Essex then in the next day or two?
Well, Gavigan does Gavigan have a townhouse, or does he always return back to his country pile of an evening?
He must have a townhouse, weren't we told it was about 2 hours?
Yeah.
Well, no. If he goes to this club in London, certainly he'll stay over somewhere.
This
the club.
I guess read my mind, Mr. Blake. I was going to ask that question. Does this club have rooms with it? If he goes there a lot?
It does. No idea whether or not he stays over. They usually have a few rooms for some guests that are visiting. But with Mr. Gavigan working at the Penny, you sure he doesn't have a residence? It's quite a long drive to Essex.
Well, maybe so. I mean, so the obvious next step would be to somebody to follow Gavigan at the end of the day and see where he goes. And if he does have an apartment somewhere, we pay him a visit. He may have some protection with him, but probably the best opportunity we'll have to engage with him when he's not got 30 people around him. I mean, if you wanted to be audacious about it, we could pick him up off the street.
We need our own transport for that, sir.
Well, did Charles not say he has a car?
I do.
I'm very excited about the possibility of doing some actual kidnapping in an MP's car.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, I was
Not something I've done often.
Well,
No.
Charles, perhaps you could ask him to step into your car. Unfortunately, you have the same surname as somebody that he knows very well, or knows was a father.
He'll know that's a right stitch up.
Exactly. So unfortunately, that wouldn't work. I was hoping to lure him somewhere somehow.
Catch him on the road, doing here in Essex.
Last time he travelled, he was a
That's quite a stakeout.
Well, yes, we'd have to follow him, and also last time he wasn't travelling alone, was he? I mean, would he be some of the people involved in the ritual?
I would also caution, sir, that this Gavigan you're talking about could come up to me and give me a kiss and I wouldn't know who he was.
Well, there is that. I'm sure we can find a photograph of him for you. What do we do with Gavigan leaving aside for a moment how we gain access to Gavigan? When we do, first thing we have to do is make sure that we bind him, because if he is capable of summoning things, then he may be capable of other magic that we would not wish him to attempt to use on us. We then question him as to what his activities are? What would we hope to gain other than...
So I have a question for you, sir. You said that this is much more world spanning than just London. Is your ambition to just completely shut down London, get it all off, burn the lot, and we're safe?
No, just to move on to the next one.
In that case, we've got to ask a lot of questions, haven't we?
Right.
You can't just kill the man.
Well, unless the man's got papers in his house which will provide us with the information that we need. But yes, we want to question him. I agree. However, I should warn you that when we've tried to question these fanatics in the past, they would rather die than provide us with any useful information.
Understood.
I say we take no chances. I say we kill him. We cut the head from the snake.
It would probably be the safest approach, because if we sow chaos, we stand more chance of surviving. If they'll be uncoordinated, there will be a power struggle if it is Shafiq's desire to take over the activities that Gavagan's running currently.
I say we waste no time. I say we kill him tonight and we go to Essex and we destroy whatever means there are of summoning whatever hideous creatures there are at the mansion in Essex.
I like your energy, but you might want to do it the other way around, because if the estate is empty at the moment, that's your low-hanging fruit. You can get in there first, because killing a man, that ain't easy.
Killing a man's easy, getting away with it's harder.
Nah, lads, killing a man ain't easy.
I look sheepish.
How's your day going, Mr. Member of Parliament? You expecting to be sitting in a battle cruiser talking about murder?
Yes, it is rather unnerving. I am worried about Gavagan and the people he knows. He is rather well connected, as I mentioned. Civil servant.
Wouldn't worry about him being connected. He'll be dismembered by the end of the evening if we get our way.
But who watching him? Who is guarding him?
This is the thing. Now, let's put to one side for a moment killing Gavagan as soon as we possibly can, because that's going to take a degree of planning. We can't just gun the man down on the street. This isn't Chicago. We could follow him and find out where he sleeps and take him there. We could take him, if we follow him to his house. These are all things that are going to take planning. Would going to his house first benefit us? Would we find anything there that we could use? I suppose the advantage would be if we go there first, then there's no chance that other cult members can destroy or remove items as soon as they hear Gavagan's dead. That would be a concern, that they scatter like cockroaches as soon as we kill him. But they knew we were coming to the factory. I very much doubt that his house is going to be unguarded, and there's only one way in and out. Does anybody fancy a sea landing?
How big's this island? Does anyone...
Don't know, we could find a map.
Yeah, it's not very big.
This is something a lot of people are rather more comfortable reconnoitering his estate first. Turns out that we don't manage to speak to him beforehand, and we do end up there during the ritual. No, the lay of the land would be very...
Yeah, I do not want to... If we're there when the ritual starts, if the ritual gets to start, then we've failed. Because once it starts, I do not think we have the ability to stop it.
No.
Because we will not be able to take on 30 people. Even assuming we can get to the site of the ceremony itself. Because we'd have to get across the bridge or get a boat. Either way, you can guarantee that we'll encounter somebody before we get to the ritual.
So what you should be able to see is like a little dotted line, which is a road that goes up through the farmland, and then it hits a stone wall where there's a gate, and then goes across a little river.
Oh, okay, right, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So theoretically, we could actually...
You could drive there.
Yeah, or no, we could walk round it. We could theoretically...
Well, it's all marsh. All the stuff.
Okay.
The reason that wall's there is like a raised bit, and then the rest of it's all marsh. All the green bits.
Right,
is all marsh.
okay.
Yeah, even on Google Maps, it looks really marshy. If you zoom super in, it goes more blue than green.
Well, it's actually, a lot of it is sunk, and since there's a lot of less land there now than there was 100 years ago. There's actually towns that are actually underwater there now. like
Oh,
Mm.
kind of medieval towns that are
Atlantis.
claimed by the sea.
okay.
Anyway, so that's that gives you a better idea. So the suggestion from Zafik was that you get a boat from Walton on the Naze, and then just sail up round. Well, you can get a tourist boat and get somebody to sail you up round
Mhm.
down.
If you look at it stuff right and send them up here, it's dramatic. You're right.
Is it big enough for us to go there today or tomorrow and camp out and hole out somewhere on the island?
Yeah, I think you could. Well, yeah, you could do that. Well, you assume you could. I mean, obviously, you don't know much about the. It's certainly big enough. What you can see on the map. It's quite. Yeah, it's very bleak terrain. There's not anybody out there really.
What are you thinking?
I reckon he's thinking you go there and camp there and hole up overnight.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'd rather go in somewhere having had a chance to sort of scope it out first. Well, not a huge place though. It's not going to be that easy to hide out, and it looks like it may be quite open. There aren't many trees around.
What do you want to do? Try and get a boat round, hold out until it's dark, sneak up to the house under cover of darkness, and then break in and see what we can find.
Yeah.
That works for me.
Do you know what I'm thinking? Presumably you'd want to be going there armed. Duck hunting. That'd be a reasonable excuse for going there.
Why would we need an excuse? We're not actually planning on meeting anybody.
But if questions are asked, discovered by anyone in the authority, I should imagine it's a good place.
Yes, but I wouldn't have thought that doing it at night time in the cover of darkness whilst hiding in a tent would
No.
necessarily hold much water. And also, I don't have any hunting gear or a shotgun. How far to I'm actually terrible with a shotgun. Not that we're going to be shooting ducks, but even if we do need firearms, I would rather use my pistol than a shotgun. I take it you have experience with more powerful firearms, Charles?
Well, to tell the truth, look at but this usually had other people to do that for me. Possible, but yes.
You have other people shoot ducks for you?
I thought you were referring to Egypt.
No, I realise you're officer class, so
well, yeah, shooting pheasants, but yeah.
no, I would think if we encounter somebody,
Yeah, the last thing we want to do is to get caught.
yeah, I don't think we want to be chatting about it. We just need to get. I mean, this is going to be an issue anyway. If we get a boat round, we're going to be asked to be dropped off. How do we do that without raising questions? Thanks very much for dropping it.
That's what I thought about duck hunting.
Yeah, I know, but it's the time of day, isn't it?
And overnight, we'll go shooting tomorrow, then pick 3 p.m. or something.
It is quite popular. It is quite popular for both ornithologists and shooting and fishing and all that sort of stuff. So that's not as an outlandish a suggestion as it might seem.
Well, we need to go shopping then, and we need to get ourselves some hunting gear because I don't have any hunting attire.
Can we not hire a boat ourselves?
You absolutely don't have any shotguns, do you?
Well, I do.
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason why you wouldn't be able to do that.
Let's just hire our own boat.
Yeah, that would be. It's a seaside town. You're going to be able to. People hire boats to go out fishing. So
I am so looking forward to us
running aground.
No, having a total party kill because somebody rolls really badly and sinks the boat, and all of us drown. Don't push your roll going round the headland. All right. Let's hire a boat. Let's try and keep it simple. Okay. The more stuff we buy, the more attention more people we have to talk to, the more problematic it is. So, 2 of us go and hire a boat, and then the other 2 can join us, and then we'll just sail it around, and then we'll jump out. Oh, actually, we can probably, depending on the size of the boat, we might be able to moor the boat, stay in the boat until it gets dark, and then travel up from the waterway up to the house, check it out, and then make our way back to the boat, and then back round again. Well, we want to sail at night. We can avoid it, but just at least we can get away. Does that work for everybody?
I can, yeah.
That sounds reasonable.
So, shall we drive to Walton on Maze now?
Or do we wait until we've spoken to the Feek tonight?
I'm just conscious that we're running out of time because we've only got tonight and tomorrow night, and then it's the ritual, isn't it? What we're going to hear from her that is, I mean, we do this tonight, and we can catch her tomorrow. She might be around all day. Also, there is an advantage to if she is working with Gavigan or has some kind of relationship with Gavigan. It might get to him that we're going back to see her later on tonight, which would mean there would be less chance that you would think that we would be going to his house. Just a
Yes,
thought.
misdirection.
Yeah.
I get you to roll centiles, everybody, please.
Ooh, 95.
Oh, 89.
32.
Albert
Mr.
doesn't
Albert
believe in rolling dice.
Doesn't believe in luck.
Sorry, my headset died. I had to plug it in. What are we doing?
Just rolling percentile, please.
68.
Okay. Carry on talking.
Don't want to now.
Good. Makes it easier.
Mhm.
Right. I think we should just go. We're going to need torches and your kit, Jacob. But we're going to need a crowbar in case it's a bit more challenging to get in.
I'll pop home and get Bertha.
Oh, Jacob, I thought you were going to say something.
No, I was miles away. Presumably the house will have staff, will it? Do you think?
Don't know, and we won't know until we get there, will we? If it does have staff, I think it's pretty much guaranteed that those staff are going to be aware of what's going on. So I think we can treat them as enemy combatants. You can't hold a regular ceremony with 30 cultists without the staff being aware of what's happening.
Mm. So I guess those staff would be in it. Unless two of them are standing outside this pub.
Are we
I've
being
noticed.
watched, Charles?
And I believe we are. There's one fellow, Egyptian looking, another, white, been past the window 3 times now, looking in. Might have a quiet word with the landlord, see if we can use the rear exit.
Well, we're not leaving just yet, are we? I'd like to get a look at see who the white gentleman is, whether it's somebody we recognise, Jacob.
Yeah.
So let's just keep chatting for now, and then, well, Jacob and I have a look out the window, keep glancing out the window to see whether we can see that individual walk past.
Okay. Yeah.
Wonder how they found us.
The white one, so one's Egyptian, white one, weaselly looking face.
Oh,
Mean anything to you?
yes.
Sounds familiar.
Someone from my past been watching us. We encountered him in New York as well. Goes by the name of Alfred Kinnery.
Is he trouble?
Yes and no. Not him directly, but he watches, and then whenever we spot him, bad things tend to follow. So if they know we're here, when we do leave, we could probably expect company. Last time, I'm not suggesting this would happen here, but last time, shortly afterwards in New York, somebody decided to take some pot shots at us.
Oh dear.
So, unfortunately, gentlemen, that means I was hoping that we could keep your identities unknown for a while, but seeing as you've been seen with us, I think we can assume that you're now as at risk as we are.
Well, hopefully they don't know our names just yet.
We're going to have to lose them before we go to Essex, don't we?
Yes, we are. I mean, we can always deal with them. If they're going to follow us, they can try to follow us down a side street.
Follow us all the way to Essex.
Well, there is that. I mean, it might be easier to head out of London, let them follow us, and then deal with them somewhere quieter rather than in central London. We take a roundabout route, head towards out west, let them follow us, and then once we've dealt with them, back around the top of London and then off. I mean, we could try and just lose them in the car. So it's just...
Yeah.
They don't have a car with them now. Where's your car parked, Charles?
Oh, it's back at home. Used to be here.
How far is your house?
Knightsbridge. So, yeah, a couple of miles.
Could you go and get your car and then pick us up and then we drive? I mean, they'd have to get a taxi.
Mhm.
And then they're going to have a taxi that is going to have to follow us wherever we go. If we just head out of London and keep driving west, at some point the taxi drivers are going to have enough, or they're going to have to deal with us, or we'll lose them.
Unless they have a car around.
Unless they have a car around the corner. But so far they've always followed us using taxis. But either way, I mean, we need to get out of the city. Do we think, or do we try to deal with them here? Do we lure them out?
I think your plan about luring them somewhere quieter is better.
How's your driving, Charles?
Well, I can get from one place to the other. He said I'd usually let someone else do this. Someone more qualified, someone more skillful.
What about
Not-
you, Bert?
I'm happy to drive.
I'm wondering whether,
After-
given that Mr. Finch has Bert driving for us, I wonder whether Bert has skills in that area.
What's the plan in terms of Charles getting his car? Then you going to get
Get him to go nip out the back.
Yeah.
Get a taxi, go and collect his car, come back, pick us up, then we head out.
Okay.
Then we also need to make sure we've got whatever equipment we need with us, don't we? Before we head out.
Yeah, we do.
I was going to say you're not going to have much gear with you.
Bert,
all
could you sort that out?
What do we need other than what we're carrying?
Well, what about you and I, Douglas, stay here while Bert and Charles go and get the car and the equipment, and then come back and pick us up?
Yeah, I don't like the idea of sending one person off on their own. That's dangerous. So yeah, that sounds like a plan. What equipment do you think we will need?
We're going to need binoculars, something along that. If we're going to be scoping out the house from distance, we need weapons.
Well, I'm carrying already. I don't need additional ones on that front. And I've got a light. I don't have a.
We're going to be out in the middle of the night as well. We need well, not so much a shelter, but we need something warm and waterproof.
I was kind of hoping that we could stay in the boat until it was dark. Hopefully the boat would have a cabin. I don't know, it depends on the size of the boat that we hire. I think maybe less risk being on a boat than trying to camp nearby. I don't know. I mean,
and we need a crowbar. We need my tools.
Oh, I assumed you were carrying, Jacob.
Are you? What about? Are you not taking the shotguns with you then? No.
Nope.
I think we should. Well, are we staying there until the ritual?
No, I thought the plan was to go there, investigate the place, break in, see whether we can find anything, papers, etc., that are of use to us to find out what's going on in other countries. Then potentially destroy anything that we can to slow down them and their ceremony, and then getting away, and then dealing with Gavigan afterwards, but not hanging out and not waiting there until Gavigan turns up or the ceremony happens. I want to be in and out of there in one night, unless anyone's got another plan, because that's admittedly thrown together. What do you think? Sorry, gentlemen, I don't wish to be leading you to your deaths without your agreement.
It's like one of those where you don't know till you get there, which is a horrible way to fly.
Can I just suggest a slight alternative, and that is to speak to Zafik tonight to try and find out a little bit more. I'm absolutely fed up of how little information she's sharing with us. Then to head to Essex early on the morning of the night of the ritual, and scope the place out during the day, and then take Gavigan while he's preparing for the ritual.
All too close. That's all the time.
My worry is if we blow it at their house, particularly if there are staff there, we're never going to get close to Gavigan.
Well, then the first thing we do when we get there, that house is in the middle of nowhere. If they have a telephone line, we cut the telephone line, then they'll have no means to communicate if it does go south. I'd like to get all that stuff sorted with as much time between us doing it and the ceremony as possible, because if things do go wrong, it at least gives us a little bit of time to come up with a plan B or alternatives.
Yeah.
I don't know what we. I don't know what are you hoping to get from Fleet? What her name is? Shafiq.
A little more intelligence to start making some slightly more informed decisions. I can't believe that someone whose express aim is to try and learn more about this organisation doesn't know a hell of a lot more than she's sharing with.
Well, let's suppose that she is trying to take over. She's given us the information that we need in order to kill her opponent for her. If we ask her anything else, I don't know what it is that she would tell us that would be of use to us, or potentially make us even more of a threat later on, so that she'll try and do away with us. I mean, we have all the information that we need. What additional information could she provide us that would be useful? I'm not saying no to it. I just want to try and see, when we go there, what kind of line of questioning is there going to be?
I'd like to know more about the house, whether there is staff there, whether she knows
Right. Okay, I see what you
Gavigan's-
mean.
whether she knows when Gavigan's likely to go there, whether she knows whether he's likely to have any kind of muscle with him, whether she knows anything about the 30 people who are going to attend the ritual.
She would have. Yes, she has been to the house. And if she's not willing to provide that information or claim she doesn't know,
We'll be no worse off than we are at the moment.
well, we'll also actually, if we don't let her know that we know about the fact that she's been there, if she tells us that she doesn't know because she's never been there, then we know she's lying because we have Pinky's letter that proves that she was there.
I am thinking that her preferred time for us to deal with Mr. Gavigan would be just before the ritual, when all the followers. So he is removed from his position. She is there and can step in, take over the organisation with all the followers.
Oh, yeah, but that does kind of presuppose that they'll go, "Oh, you just killed our boss."
Maybe she is of a higher standing than.
What would be ideal is if he goes up there, I don't know, half a day before the ritual, and is, well, not so much on his own. I'm sure there'll be staff there, but if we can get to him without all the other 30 people at the ritual.
Yeah, I'm not going.
Then we've
I
got
am
a
not. I am not going there when there's 30 people there. That's just suicide.
I'd be happier doing it while it's just him, possibly the staff, and possibly worst case scenario, a bit of muscle as well.
Mm.
With the staff
Just
involved.
wonder about going up there the night before the ritual, staking the place out, staying the night there, and watching the house until he arrives during the day.
But then that means that we have to deal with him and any muscle prior to searching the house. The advantage to going to the house tonight is that there won't be any muscle there, or very limited muscle, and we could probably neutralise that, and we'll have free range to search the house and get everything we need. If we go there when he's there and muscle's there, we're going to have to fight our way through him before we can get any other information.
If we could do that and then lie in wait for him.
Yeah, we could do that. I mean, that's a thought. I mean, we could potentially sort the house out. Then when he turns up, in preparation for the ceremony, just take him out when he turns up. Welcome home, Mr. Gavigan. Bang.
Well, it's 25 to 11, so maybe you need a bit of time to think about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You've
Need to think about my life choices.
Yeah, you can all come up with so we can spend the next. You can all come up with wildly different plans to discuss next week.
Yep, absolutely.
Thanks once again for joining us on Steady Rolling Man Presents The Master on Nyarlathotep. We'll see you next week.